the last time Tracy, California, sees this presentation. But I must be obedient. There's a reason why I must show this presentation tonight. There's somebody in here that needs to see it. I don't even know who it is. But somebody needs to see this because their mind has been closed and it's going to open up when they see this. So let me tell you my story real quickly. Played football, had a chance to play football. My whole goal, my whole dream was to play pro football. Had a trial with the Houston Oilers. I don't know if y'all remember Earl Campbell. Anybody ever heard of Earl Campbell? Yeah. Had a trial with Earl Campbell, Kitty Burrow, Dan Pastorini. That lasted all of 3 weeks before they cut me and said I wasn't good enough. Excuse me. Has anybody ever had a dream or a goal and you got real close to it and for whatever reason you didn't get it? You know, that was my dream. That was my goal, to play pro football. The next week, after I got cut, I met my beautiful wife. And how many of you have seen my wife before? Yeah. Woo! She makes me look young, right? But I met my beautiful wife, and we've been together 28 years. It'll be 29 years in August. 29 years together. When I met my wife, everything changed. Because when I was growing up on the East Coast. And growing up, I said I'd never get married. In fact, I had 7 girlfriends prior to meeting my wife because I thought I was going to play pro football. Also, I wasn't saved at the time, so, you know, I was a bad boy. All right, so I charged that to my head, not to my heart, all right? But when I met my wife, everything changed. I knew that was going to be my wife. And then she did something that I still to this day trying to figure out how she did this. She got pregnant. I don't know how she did this, but she got pregnant. And then she got pregnant again and again. And we have 4 children. We have 4 children, 3 beautiful girls, and we have a son. Yeah. Now, I don't know about you, but growing up, I was taught the American dream. Go to school, get a good education, so you can go to college, get a better education, so you can get a job and work your way all the way up to the middle. Because they ain't letting us at the top, right? Right. I was taught that. So I got 2 degrees in school. I got a business degree, I got a marketing degree. I also was taught by my grandmother that if a man that finds a wife finds a good thing. So I didn't want my wife to work. I wanted her to stay home with the children because my grandfather didn't have my grandmother work. You know, he went out and worked. My grandmother stayed home, cooked 3 meals, kept the house clean, raised the children. That's how I wanted to raise my child. I mean, that's how I wanted to raise my family. I wanted an adult to be at home because how many of you know if you're not teaching your children, the street is? Yeah. Yes, sir. And so I wanted to make sure there was an adult there. So I started working 2 jobs. And I started working 3 jobs. Why? Because the cost of living is always running faster than the amount of money they pay us at the jobs. Would you agree? Yes. And my wife and I, we like nice things. Well, she likes nice things. I just go along for the ride. All right? So I had to work 2 jobs, 3 jobs. We even got a business going. We got a traditional business going, but we had clothing stores. And they were in the malls in Houston, Texas. She would run the stores, her and her sisters. I would run the finances of the stores. You know, how many people in here have ever owned a traditional business before? Anybody ever owned a traditional business before? Okay, well, in a traditional business, you understand that cash flow does not mean profit. You may have cash coming in, but it doesn't mean you're making profit because you have overhead going out. Everybody understand that? Yeah. And so the first 4 or 5 years of the store, you know, we made some really, really good money. We had 5 clothing stores in 5 different malls. But then the malls, some of the malls they were in started closing down. And when I say closing down, a lot of the stores started leaving out of the malls, a lot of the major stores. But yet the malls still wanted their rent from me. And we wasn't making the same amount of money. So we had 3 stores that were losing money and 2 stores that were making money. And it evened out to where we weren't making any money. So finally, I had a friend talk to me about home-based business and network marketing. Now, I got to tell you this. This was almost 18 years ago. I did not believe in network marketing. home-based business. Anybody, I used to think it was a scam. I used to think it was a pyramid scheme. I'm a country boy, so is it okay if I be truthful with you?
Yeah.
I didn't want any part of it. But how many of you know we perish for lack of knowledge?
Right.
Sometimes we don't know what we don't know.
Right.
All I knew was what my friends, my broke friends told me. You know, it was a pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
That they were after my money. Does anybody here think like that as well? Anybody here think home-based business like that? You don't want no part of it? Anybody? Anybody just not going to raise your hand no matter what I say? Huh? You used to think that way? We got an honest person over here. I used to think like that, but I didn't know any better. But I had a friend of mine tell me that he said, what if? He said, what if you can get involved in one of these businesses and it could help you to stop working 3 jobs? Because I was working 3 jobs now. You know, I had my 2 regular full-time jobs, and then I threw newspapers 7 days a week. See, ain't no shame in my game to take care of my family. I'll do whatever it takes.
Sir.
Anybody in here ever threw newspapers before? All right. Ain't no shame in your game either, right? You do whatever you have to do. So I went to one of these meetings, and I still didn't believe in it. They had people, they paraded up front, talking about how much money they made, you know, and I still didn't believe in it because I kept saying, I don't want to make money off of my friends and family. Anybody ever think like that before? I said, I just didn't want to do it. But what I didn't realize was this, that everything in life is a pyramid. You know, if you think about it, if you go to work at your job, somebody owns that job or business, right? Then they got a president or a vice president. They got managers or district managers, and all the workers are at the bottom. And when the workers work, the money they bring in pays all the people above them. So there was only one person in that scenario getting rich.
That's correct.
And that was the CEO and boss of that company. But I didn't realize that. Why? Because I was conditioned to believe that I could not survive without a job.
Employee making the money for them.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I got involved in network marketing even though I didn't believe in it. Because I was hoping I could free up 1 or 2 of those jobs. That was my goal, to free up 1 or 2 of those jobs. Well, my first 3 years, I failed miserably, made no money. Has anybody ever started a business and maybe failed in your first year or 2 years and didn't make any money? Anybody ever do that? Yeah. How many of you know traditional business, typically it takes 2 to 5 years just to recoup your investment? 2 to 5 years. I met someone, though, in the industry who was earning over $1 million a year from home. And he began to be my first mentor. Now, I want you to understand something. If you want to get from point A to point B, and you want to do it quickly, you must find a mentor, someone who's already there, who's willing to teach you what they've learned, and it'll help you get there faster. Does that make sense?
Yes.
It's kind of like this. If this young lady was a doctor, and this young lady was not, and I wanted to be a doctor, would I learn from her or would I learn from her? I would learn from a person who's already there, right? So after dealing with that mentor, I was able, after about 10 months, to walk away from all 3 jobs and go full-time in the industry of network marketing.